Right then, welcome back everybody to Friday night is Onion Night, of course, the home of the Giant Onion Growing Challenge, where I'm hosting a competition for people to grow the biggest onions they possibly can using LC seeds. I need a shave and a haircut. Oh, I've lost my glasses, but who's got time for that? We've got gardening to do, onions to look at, and just massive thank you to everybody who's just put up recent videos of their onions. I'm delighted. I'm over the moon that, you know, it's been a long process, 140, 150 days of dedication, ignoring them and they're fine, all sorts. And yeah, I'm just chuffed to bits that a lot of you are getting great onions. And a special thanks to Nick the gardener. I think he was the last person to sow some seeds, and his is growing away, and he's still in it. You know, I love it. So massive thanks to everybody who's still sticking with it. It's been a long time. What we're going to do today? In a minute, I'm going to talk about, because we've got a heat wave coming. So I'm going to talk about how I'm going to try and shade my big onion, and we'll go and have a look at that in a minute, and how I'm going to use these little devices to help me monitor what's going on. All right, and I'll explain them in a minute. So I've got a number of onions like this. These are my grow light ones, and I'll be potting those on over the weekend. I've already done the biggest one, showed you that last week, and we're going to have a look at that in a minute. But I've got about, I forgot there, 7, 9 or 10 onions this size, and I'm hoping to grow them to show at my local garden show that is at the end of July. All right, so if you want to see how I get on with them, come back and see me. It'll be amazing, obviously. And here we've got the tray of Team No Lights, Sean, although you're not in it now, Sean, so tough. And these are those potted on a little while ago, and these have had no light. No, obviously they've had light, otherwise they'd be dead. But they've had no grow lights. They've just been either in my passive greenhouse to start with, and now just in the polytunnel. All right, but like I say, we've got a heat wave coming up, and my understanding is onions like a temperature range to grow of between 13 and 23, and with a heat wave coming, obviously we're going to be in excess of that, shall we say. So that's Team No Lights as they stand at the minute, and I'll get up. I'll just take one out of the pot so we have some look at some roots, shall we? We ain't gonna make a mess, are we? Yeah, of course we are. There we go. So that's the roots on the No Lights, and a worm. Beauty. 2 worms. Fantastic. Right, I'll put that back in there before I make a hash of it. So that's that. Right, so my cunning plan is to shade around my big onion. I've already got, it's already up the far end of the green polytunnel, where I've got the double doors that I can open. And also my tunnel has got a roll up plastic sheeting about a third of the way up. Well, it runs a whole length, but it goes about a metre up. And I can roll that plastic sheeting up, and on the outside of that is just wind netting. So that, again, will help me get good ventilation and help hopefully cool it down. And my cunning plan is to put this, well, not this actually, because I've got some proper shade netting just turned up today, but it's not here, around, just to keep the harsh rays of the sun off the leaves to help prevent scorching. All right, so that's going to be my cunning plan. And to monitor that, I've got these things. Now, I'll put a link to these, and I'll also put a link to Steve's allotment diaries, because that's where I found out about these. Brilliant channel. He's always making things, which really appeals to me. And yeah, I learned about these from him. And what these are temperature and humidity sensors. All right, not like your bog standard maximum minimum thermometer. These monitor, I think it's something ridiculous, like every 4 seconds. And then they're Bluetooth, and you can get an app on your phone, download the information, and you can see on a chart what the temperatures have been on an hourly, daily, monthly, all the rest of it. Now, I know historical data, to me, it's pretty pointless. But what they are good for, and I used it at home for setting the temperature of my heater in the greenhouse to get it dialed in. They're great for monitoring things you do differently. All right, so I could set the heater to 3. Yeah, didn't quite hold the 10 degrees overnight. Tried 3.5, held the 10 degrees. All right, so they're pretty good for monitoring things you do differently. All right, now this particular set, it came in a set of 3, and you can name them and put them in different places. So I can have one outside, I can have one just in the polytunnel, and then I can have one right next to my onion, so I can monitor whether one set of shading works, or whether I need to double up and have 2 lots of shading. So it's just a way of monitoring differences, different things you can try. All right, and obviously then you can see, because you've got charts of it all, of the 3 different places that you've got it, you can see the difference. So, oh yeah, 1 lot of shade netting give me 2 degrees. I'll try 3 lots of shade netting. Well, that give me 4 degrees. So it's one of them. And it's a bloody gadget, isn't it? I love a gadget. And I think the set of 3 was 37 quid, I think, from memory. And when you think a plain minimum maximum thermometer is 12 quid, so, you know, and they're waterproof, IP66 rating, I think, so you can leave them outside, and they just run off a battery, and like I say, they're Bluetooth and can link to your phone. All right, so that's what I'm going to try. We'll pop up and just have a look at my big onion, and I'll explain a bit more what I'm going to do. And then tonight we're going to have onion news, because there's been a brilliant lot of videos, and we'll have a little catch up with everybody and what everybody's up to. All right, so let's go up and have a look at my big one. Ooh. Right, so here's a big one. Giggity. Pride of place up the top of the polytunnel, in its big pot with the bottom cut out, sat inside a brute bin. And like I said, we're next to the double doors, so I can open them to control the temperature. And as I explained earlier, my polytunnel has got this roll up plastic blind with the green mesh behind it, so I can roll this up on hot days and let the air flow through. All right, so that's them. Oh, tomatoes, lovely. So that covers sort of ventilation, but I think the scorch from the sun may also be a factor. So my cunning plan is to rig up some sort of framework around the onion, a bit like a shower curtain sort of affair, and then I can shade it on the hottest days. And then we can stick the switchbot monitors, one on the onion, one outside, and one just in the polytunnel. And then we can monitor if anything I do makes a blind bit of difference. All right. Now, I'm really pleased to report that this one's picked up. It took about a week, and I was a bit concerned because all the leaves sort of sucked themselves back in a bit. But the fresh leaves building up in the middle now are looking all right. All right. So that's the best one, and that's what I've got planned for it. So if you want to see how I got on, come back and see me next week. We'll do a little update. All right. Right. Let's go do some onion news. Talk about you lot. Right then, time for onion news. I'll whiz through this pretty quick because I've already taken up enough of your time. But I think it's important to give recognition to those people who take part, take the time to upload videos and updates, and I really appreciate that. If I've missed anybody, just shout at me and we'll catch up with you next time. And everybody's videos should be in the playlist on my channel. All right, so if you want to see any of them, go and have a look at that if you've got nothing better to do. All right, right, where are we to? Nick, a gardener, brilliant, definitely last to plant, and he's cutting some of his when he pots them up. He's cutting the roots as well. Now, I've never seen anybody cut roots, and history says that if you cut your leaves, chances are they're not going to be as good as the ones you cut. Simple as that. But we'll see. He may surprise us with the comparison. All right. So keep posted on them, Nick. We'll see what's going on. Ian's onion channel got his in the auto pots, and he's on the Canna A and B liquid feed. So his are looking brilliant. They've looked really good all the way along. So Ian's one to watch out for. Robert Meakin got his in deep pots in the greenhouse, but Robert's all excited about his potatoes, isn't he? You know, single seed potato challenge. He's got his crown to look after. So who knows what's going to happen to his onions? All right, but we'll see. We'll see. Jenny, plot 13. has got hers in some of those Airbnb pot things, and she takes them out every morning in her jammies for a water. Brilliant. Oh, that's dedication for you, isn't it? Taking them out in your jammies before she goes to work. And hers are looking really good, and well, the rest of her garden's looking really good. I do enjoy watching her channel. So that's that. Quick peek. Come on. Everybody's had enough. Duncan, Coastal Garden, North Wales. He's got some of his in the air pots, and he's got some of his outside already, and they're looking really good. So he might be on to a winner there, getting some outside into the fresh air and just the natural environment that we live in. Yeah, it'll be fun. So we're interested to see how they get on. Linda McLeod got hers in the greenhouse now, and they're starting to grow away and looking really good. She's still on about the Kelsey onions, you know. Don't forget to tell him, Pete, Kelseys are bred on the Scottish border. All right, Linda, we know. Let it go. All right, they're not from Canada at all. Honestly. Ali and Tricia, they've come on leaps and bounds, apparently, since being moved to the polytunnel. And it's something I've found, that since I've moved them out from my grow lights and the tent into the natural light, the onions have improved. And I'm pretty certain that maybe a lot of that is down to the quality of my grow lights. And I don't think it's any coincidence that the best onions have been grown under quality grow lights. All right. And Duncan, there again, Coastal Garden, North Wales, he's just testing out a new light that's on offer. So if you're looking for a quality grow light, go and check his channel out on grow lights. All right. Rob Allotment Gardening, he's still in his attic with his. They're all looking pretty good, but you're going to have to get them out the attic soon, Rob, because you're coming down here to Cornwall to see me. We're going to have a few beers, and they need to be outside, mate. Before you go, I'm sure they will be. And just because you've had operations on your hands and all that nonsense, that's no excuse, all right? No excuse. What have we got? Nearly finished. Mark, Gang and Peanut, his have been partying in the grow tent, but now he's kicked them out. So he's potted his on again. A bit of potting on anxiety. We all get it. Tipping them out. What's going to happen? Fall apart. Blah, blah, blah. But they were fine. And Mark does a really good job of growing. And there again, really enjoy his channel. Right. Last but not least, over on Insta, that's what the kids call it, you know, Insta, we got Debbie Grows a Love and Deb's Veg Plot. Doing a brilliant job. They post regularly over on Insta, and it's always fascinating to see how other people do things and what their gardens are like. I love having a nose. All right, so that's it. Boom. End of that. Enough of my nonsense. Thanks for watching. The light's fading. Cheers and gone.